And welcome back to 825 The Weekly. I'm one of your hosts, Deshaun Bird. I'm here with
Seanxfree.
And today we have one of our special guests in here today, our entrepreneur slash author of the week, Henry Benton III.
Yes, sir.
Let you give the people a little introduction and what you're here for. You got a new book called Yes Dad out in stores right now all over the internet. You go ahead.
All right, cool. What's going on, everybody? First of all, Bird, thanks for having me. It's free for you be here as well. Went to school with both of them, so it's good to come back full circle and do something like this. My name is Henry Benton. A lot of people call me Hank. Proud native of Dayton, born and raised here. Again, went to Trotwood Madison, graduated 2010. Just a little bit more about myself. So I'm currently in Nashville, Tennessee right now, working on my PhD in counseling psychology.
What school?
Tennessee State.
Yeah, TSU.
Yeah, TSU. Go Big Blue.
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
I just finished my the first half of my semester this year. So I'm in year 2. I got 2 more years to go. So yeah, it's been a good journey. It's a hard, long journey, but fun, and you get to do things like this and meet new people and good experiences.
So you had your book signing here in Dayton. How did that go for you?
Yeah, my book signing was dope, bro. So I was in the mall. It was in the mall right by Macy's at Third Perk Coffee Shop, which is dope, owned by Miss Juanita. So check that out.
Black owned,
sure.
Third Perk. She got 2 locations, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She about to open up another one.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was cool, man. My boy Rick Sexton played the saxophone for me. He got the vibes going. He drew the crowd in, asked people wanted to know what was going on. So yeah, it was like people came and brought their kids. I signed a whole bunch of books. Just told a little bit about myself. People was able to get cookies, raffled off gift cards, some massage certificates.
So you was doing the thing, man.
Cool, man.
Yeah. You know what I think was dope about it too was the fact that like you shared your why and your reason for getting into like publishing books, and the fact that it wasn't many minorities, but it was people of all races yesterday that was interested and that even, purchased a few books. So
yeah. Did you feel like the actual book signing helped you gain some more people? Like when I was coming by, I seen people just walking past and looking to see what's got going on. So
yeah, so and that's the thing I was telling that to Free yesterday. Was since it was an open space, you didn't really get to see a lot of people who was actually like buying the books, because it was a rolling thing.
Right.
So I was telling him how many I had sold or whatever at that point in time. He was like, dang, for real? So, and it was a lot of different people coming up, like you said, just, asking what it was about, all races, right? You had older white people, you had young white people, of course, black people, Hispanic people. Like it was just a lot of the melting pot was dope. So I definitely think it expanded what we're trying to do, what the mission behind the book is.
All right, so tell us a little bit about the book, man. Yes, Dad, man.
Yeah, man. So, Yes, Dad is about tells a story between an African American father and son, and how they grow together and how one word can have multiple meanings. So it's the underlying message of tone, and it's not what you say, but how you say it.
Where'd you get the concept for the book?
The main concept was growing up, I always loved to read. So I was always in the summer program in the library, reading all day, all night. But what I found when I was reading as a kid, we didn't have a lot of people that looked like us in those books.
Right.
And as I got older, it was still like the same thing. And we read books, 2 books that stand out to me specifically, is Bud Not Buddy and Ishmael Bay, A Long Way Gone. Bud Not Buddy was set in Birmingham, Alabama, during the whole civil rights movement, and it was just filled with a lot of trauma and pain.
Right.
And the same thing with Ishmael Bay. He was in Rwanda, a refugee, was, forced into, as a soldier, child soldier, got hooked to cocaine and all type of stuff. Again, just a lot of trauma-filled stuff. And I was like, I was just sick of reading stuff about trauma. Like we can have, we have happy-go-lucky stories too. So I wanted to, display that early on.
Okay. My bad. Let's talk about a little bit about your background and you going to school, you said you're going to get your master's. I know personally that you're going to get your master's. How's that process been? And then how has the book affected you during this whole pandemic? Like, was that a part of the creativity of it? Did it hold it back? Like, how was the process during all of this, especially you pursuing your degree?
Well, PhD, I got my master's in
PhD.
2018. It's all good, man. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, the pandemic, it just around the concept of the book, I think I dropped it at the right time. Again, it was just something to give positivity in our community. One, with the pandemic. Two, with the social injustice going on. Just something that we could read that wasn't, again, any pain or trauma. Just something fun to do, something to come out and support. Read to your kids, grandkids, cousins, nieces, nephews. That type vibe. And people sending, just in my aspect, like people sending me pictures of their kids with the book. So you're saying, or so seeing Seven read his, he read his book. That inspired me. Like, man, this is dope. Like, it gave me more energy and motivation to just like go throughout the day. Like, if I was like having a down day, like, dang, man, like I've been on a Zoom screen for 3 hours watching class, and now I got to go back on the screen and do the work.
Right.
So like those type of things really helped me out through the pandemic.
So what are you actually getting your PhD in?
Counseling psychology.
And what do you want to do with that?
I want to be a sports psychologist. For people that don't know, I play football at Trotwood, and I played in the undergrad as well at Ashland University.
Right.
And I dealt with a lot of things playing sports that I felt like is very transferable to all sports and genders. So I want to work with incoming athletes who are trying to make that transition from high school sports to college sports, because we all know that transition ain't easy. And then I also want to work with athletes who get injured and can't play no more.
Okay.
It's the mental health that goes into that aspect. And then the third facet of that is I want to work with athletes who have, met their mark. They hit their peak, and like, this is it. So like, this is the farthest you're about to go. And you've been doing this since you was 5 years old. And now what's next? You don't know what's the next aspect.
I talk to people a lot about that, like life after football. Like, football is different. Like basketball, you can go to the Y. Soccer, you can go pick up and play. Baseball, you can go to the batting cage. Like, that football field, you can't get it back in. My thing with people now, like figuring out what they want to do, it's like you get that itch. Like, you just sitting around all the time. Like, I just want to play football again, but you really can't do it. Flag football don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you're not gonna get a group of people that line up on both sides of the ball. Put full pads. Like, you're not doing
referee,
that. Yeah,
crowd,
chain gang. Yeah, like none of that is happening.
Concession stand. It's a whole thing.
I know you have a child right now, Sean, Hank in the future, and myself in the future. Do y'all want y'all kids playing football like early off? Like, I think I was the only one. Y'all didn't play football in elementary.
No.
Y'all want y'all kids playing football younger? Like, what's the age that you want to start it? Are you gonna force them to play football as well too?
Man, I'm gonna force my kids to play a sport. I don't know. You got to play something, right? I'm gonna try to shy them away from football. You know what I'm saying? Like, golf, tennis. You know what I'm saying? Soccer, just different things that we didn't play a lot of growing up. I didn't play a lot of growing up. It's less dangerous. And shoot, the money, money's in tennis. There's money in golf. You know what I'm saying? There's money in soccer. Like,
money
you can get baseball. You can get bread, bro. Like, stupid. Like, you know what I'm saying? And not have to worry about the mental effects of CTE. You know what I'm saying? The body pains that we dealing with. Wake up, body be sore. Broke my arm and all that type of stuff. So it's, I'm not saying injuries can't happen in other sports, but just like the physical, stuff of football. So for me, I'm not going to say I won't let them play. And again, it might change when I have a kid of my own, but I am definitely going to try to shy them away from football by showing them other sports first.
Or I might try and, depending on what his size is, try and develop him as like a quarterback. You know what I mean? Like Kyler Murray, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson. They all played baseball. It was pitchers and played football. You know what I mean? So it's a different type of skill level too. So I don't know. Yeah.
Earlier you mentioned your experience at Ashland, and I know recently you going on your 4th year at TSU in Nashville.
Yeah.
What has been the difference? I know it's undergrad at TSU is different from how you got on, but what is the difference with you going from a PWI to a HBCU?
Man, the atmosphere, bro. Like, the atmosphere in the PWI is just so different than the HBCU. PWI is not a family atmosphere for people of color.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, white people might have that family atmosphere, but I felt like an outsider from the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't ingratiated or welcomed into that culture.
Do you wish you went to a HBCU your whole career, or are you glad you got that experience?
A mixture of both. So like a part of me wishes I would have went to HBCU because again, I feel like the people I've met since I've been in Nashville, a lot of great quality people from TSU, and that went there. But at the same time, I definitely had a lot of life lessons at a PWI. Being a black man at a small PWI. Ashland is 2,500 students, so it's super small and 98% white. So I definitely had situations happen to me where without the experience, I wouldn't have grown and learned from it. So I definitely I appreciate my experience for that. So I go back and forth with that.
Okay. The one thing that I really liked about your book, one, everybody here knows like the stigma you have around black fathers, especially in America and around our age range. All three of us had to, I don't want to say like pleasure or anything like that, but we all had our fathers in our lives. Did that inspire you to write the book, like your relationship with your dad? And how would you talk to anybody without a father that you want to give this book to or that is reading this book?
So first, I have a great relationship with my father, and it definitely added to the book. The stories in the book, like while I was writing them, I vividly remember those same conversations, coming in the book. That's how the book concept started. Like I was on the phone with my dad and I was saying the same thing a whole bunch of different times, like different emotions was going through. So I was like, oh, that's real relatable. So that's the concept from that for sure. And also just growing up in Trotwood and being around a lot of great people. I had great father figures as well. So I had my biological father, and then I had coaches and teachers and family friends that all was a part of that village of knowing, who I am. So all of that played a part into this book. And for people without a father that, they can read the books, I get that question all the time. Well, my son's father is in his life, so how would you feel about reading it? I feel like it's still a good read for them because one, that's how you get to start asking questions like, okay, who in my community can be that father figure if if the father isn't there?
Right.
So it just sparks ideas, question, because like we want that, as kids, we want that structure and love from somebody that looks like us,
Right.
So yeah, you reading, you try to get people in those spaces where in my neighborhood, where the coaching, where the programs that I can put a mentor in my child's life.
Would that be your one long-term goal for the community? I always want to start asking people that, like, what do you want to do specifically to help our group of people? Like, what is your one goal, especially with doing something like this? Like,
man, my overall goal is representation. Because even if you read this book and think you don't have a father figure, or you do have a father figure, the main thing is just seeing people that look like you in a positive aspect, right? That just goes a long way. Being able to see that all day. So, yeah, I feel like the goal now, if I had to wrap it up in one word, would be representation. Let's just, how many eyes can I get on this book? Because when I want kids to be like, man, that boy looks like me. This dude looks like me. And when I, start making more books, it's like a little black girl, like, hey, that girl looks like me. So I'm excited about the process, where it's been, where it's at, and then we'll continue to grow.
The last thing I ask before you get up out of here, Hank, you got any mental health advice for people of color in our community, specifically black men right now?
Go seek it. Like, go get mental health. Go see a therapist. Go see a counselor. Because a lot of times people think you have to have like a severe mental health issue to go seek therapy, right? I actually just got done with a client last week. He was like, man, I mean, nothing wrong with me. I'm like, I'm pretty cool. Like, yeah, like that's fine. But everybody has some type of mental enhancement they can have.
That's a good word.
Like, it's everybody. We supposed to get checkups. You know what I'm saying? Like a medical checkup. That's
physical checkup.
It's a mental health checkup. Just see where you at, what's going on. It's a lot of stuff going on in the world. And to say it's not affecting you mentally, you're lying to yourself. So yeah, seek therapy. And I also understand the history of not trusting mental health professionals or medical professionals. We just like the experimental realm our bodies was put in for a lot of different things. So I understand, where it comes from. It stems from a place of trust and mistrust. So I get it. But just so do your research, right? So go on. Anybody that's looking for a therapist, go on Psychology Today, and you can find specifically what you need. You can find people with your exact needs, a black therapist, a black woman therapist, black male therapist. Find something that fits you.
Right.
So that's my mental health advice.
You want to get the people your social medias where they can find your book, where they can find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, the mental health was definitely the most important part of, like, I think all of this with the book included. So if you're hearing this, you need some help finding mental health things, please email me at henrysreadingcorner gmail.com. I can help. Again, I can help refer you to how to find a good therapist, or if you don't know where to start that process. So that was number one. Henry's Reading Corner is my Instagram. So find me on Instagram. You can find all the updates on posts and new events going on. And then Twitter the same way, Henry's Reading Corner. So very simple. If you want to shoot me a DM me, shoot me an email. My website, henrysreadingcorner.com. You can contact me on that. You can learn a little bit more about myself, what I do, our mission, mental health aspect. So please reach out. Please buy the book. It's only $12. It's a great stocking stuffer.
Yeah, it is.
For Christmas. Have all your little ones read it. Send me pictures. I'll post them. So yeah.
What else do you have coming up, Hank?
Yeah, so I got a few more books on the way. My next project is going to release. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to release. I want it to be some type of surprise. But I got 3 books in the works right now. And the one I got coming up next, it'll probably be geared more towards both girls and boys. Because I get that question a lot too of, what about our black girls? So yes, the girls are going to be included. I got them. I got us. So yes, this is not a one-trick pony. This is something I thoroughly believe in. It's not something I'm doing because I feel like it's trendy or it'll sell. I'm doing it because I believe in representation, and I really want our community to just start, really early with representation.
Your time is coming, people. We're going to talk about everybody. Everybody gets the same amount of love. That's how we go around here. Mm-hmm. Bestseller, is that something that you're inspiring for?
See, that's the thing. No. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go into this thinking I want to sell this many books. Now, don't get me wrong. When I sell, I have okay, when I'm going to events, how many I want to sell for the day.
Right.
But a bestseller is not the goal. So just because I'm walking in my purpose, and I think that's the greatest thing about it. So when I first made the book, I really enjoyed the book, just writing it and having it published. Whether it's sold 1 or 1 million, I was happy with it. The fact that people are buying it and love it, and I'm getting numbers of sales, that's added on to it, and that's great. But I just want eyes on the book. That's what. So my goal for the book is representation. I want to get it, across all states. Right now it's in 27 states. So I'm trying to get to all 50 before 2020 is over with.
Right.
So yeah, those goals. But bestseller, if it happens, I'm not gonna be I don't want it. That would be super dope. If we get there, cool. Yeah. But that's not what I'm aiming towards.
All right. And appreciate y'all. We out. See y'all next week on 825 The Weekly. Thanks for having me, Hank.
Appreciate you, Bert.
Yep.
Free.